Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'll wait for the siren. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, let's wait for the siren. All right. Sounds like it's going away. All right. Excuse me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the check in. I am your boy, Heat Detector. And as always, I'm going to be first give the disclaimer. And also, too, as you see, I'm on my phone because I have to switch over some privacy issues with Facebook. And then once I do that, we'll get into it. But as I always say, this show is for entertainment purposes only. We we are not, or I am not, a clinical psychologist, a therapist, or anything of that nature. I am a person who is going through his own journey and understanding myself to be better with other people and be better with myself. We don't if we don't have any intention on offending anyone, disrespecting anyone or anyone's race, gender, or whatever they call themselves or identify as. I'm sorry, identify as. What we're here to do is to guide, possibly help, and even give information for people seeking any type of help in any issues that they're going through because we all need to check in. We all need a safe place. And this is a safe place. But there will be at times harsh language, but not to offend. The language is only because some people need a business card. Other people need billboards in order to understand what's going on. And sometimes the billboards are big and they're loud and they have big words and mean that what words that may sound mean, but they're not. Because accountability is very, very, very important. And with that being said, I have a special guest tonight, Akila. Sorry, I don't know your last name, but she's here in the building because tonight we want to talk about healing because I think it's really important. I've been on a journey of healing myself for quite some time, as anybody that's ever watched the show understands and knows. I've been on this journey of healing. I've been healing through grief of losing my mother and my brother, relationships, just a journey of healing myself and understanding who I am as a person, on a journey of being better with myself and with other people. And with that comes a lot of healing. And it's a crazy, crazy road to go down, especially if you're not prepared for what that road has in store for you, because it's all different for each of us, and healing comes in many different forms. It comes in the form of spiritual healing, physical healing, mental healing, and it can be a tough road. And sometimes we need people to talk to about it. Sometimes we need guidance. Some of us are not even on the road to healing, and some people don't even know that they need healing. They're just going through their everyday life, uh, like muscle memory, just doing the same things over and over and over again, and not understanding if they get the proper healing and the proper understanding that cycle of things won't continue to happen. And it'd be good, bad, or indifferent. Those cycles won't continue to happen. You could actually break the cycle, break the chains, generational curses, or whatever people call them, or generational trauma and things of that nature. Because once you start to understand these things, you're able to identify them, meet them head on, so to speak, and then leave them behind. You know what I mean? Like for real, like leave them behind because uh, healing is about forgiving. You're never going to forget things, but it's really about forgiving people and forgiving yourself and understanding what all of those things mean. But let me digress because I'm talking too much. Akila, the floor is yours. Tell the people who you are and what you know about healing.
Okay, my name is Akila Brown. I am a multifaceted business owner for Cream and Crumb LLC, and a part of one of those businesses we do events dealing with the chakra, and also we do yoga and sound healing events. And also add a little reggae party, or it might be pain sip or something like that. But the main reason why I got on tonight was about the sound healing and about diet and different things, because a lot of things can affect your mind from getting healing. It could be the food, it could be stress, things around you, or things that you might be going through. And that's why sometimes some of our parts of our bodies be hurting, because we're dealing with trauma or some type of energy that we haven't let go.
Right.
So that is one of the biggest things that I have learned for the past 2 or 3 years concerning that. And that's why I've gotten into crystals very heavily. I've been studying about the mantra and about the different types of breath work apparatuses and things to help cure some of those anxieties, some of those feelings. Um, I just say it's one day at a time. I'm not going to say that everything's going to work overnight, but it does help. It
Right.
relieves some of the energy that you've been dealing with. And it's also good to write things down, have a journal, to write about some of the things that you're personally having a problem with and not have not been really facing. That's where we recently had a new year, and you know how everybody be talking about, oh, you're gonna do a new Year's resolution. And I was telling people, I stopped doing that. I started realizing after my birthday, once I have a birthday, I should know what I need to change. I need to know what I need to change in my business, within myself, my mental, my physical, all those things that we have to look at more, because we're getting older, and we can't, neglect our health. Not saying that we're going to be here forever, but while we're here, we need to take care of ourselves.
How
And
did
that's
that
important.
that I really like what you said and all of that. And I heard you speak about journaling, and I know that I've heard a lot. I haven't got to that point yet. I know that I've been told multiple times that it's a good thing to journal your thoughts and your feelings about stuff. And it's not that I have a problem with it. I space out at times, and I don't I feel like I don't have the energy to just sit down and write these things down. But how important do you think that is to journal, to like write down your emotions and your feelings?
Well, I noticed since we started taking that manifestation class, and the different apparatuses and the different type of things that we're doing, it's a great structure, because it shows you, it's like we're doing a harmonizing book, and then it's a manifestation book, and each one of them, it shows you in a harmonizing area how to be more mellow, more
Hmm.
calm about things. It shows you that you don't need to stress about every time something goes wrong. You need to figure out or look at it at a different way and realize that I went wrong. I took the wrong route. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was on you. But we just can't face it. We always trying to put it on somebody else or something like that. And so that was, you write about those type of things, or say in a manifestation, you get you a vision board and you write down things about the things that you want to improve in your business or your household, relationships with people you don't, have, or what's going on in your heart, your mind state, what, things that you want to achieve that you feel as a person needs to be more structured, it needs to be better.
Right. Hold on one second. I'm typing in something.
Okay.
Um, did you have you now when you say harmonizing? Is that how does that work as far as the journaling part?
Well, we have this oil that she made. It's a special blend, and it's all chemically put together. And she has you smell it, and and it's like a real like mellow type scent, and it gets you in a point where you just like really laid back. Because some of the mixture in the oil, it has like lavender, rose oil. These all of these elements and minerals are currents to help lower those anxieties, those feelings that you have when you're
Mm-hmm.
upset. It just changes, and then it's a symbol also that is, that is involved, and you know what I'm saying. Basically, you take a take your hand and you take with your right hand or whatever, take the oil, go around and like let us smell it, inhale
Mm-hmm.
it. And it's just like if you have any pain or any type of, feeling in your body, it goes to that area. It's like it's like basically like I said, if you have stress,
Right.
for instance,
Do
and
that? Do
if
they
you're
incorporate that
stressing
with?
about something personally, certain parts hurt.
Right.
You be like, oh, my leg hurts. Oh man, my shoulder hurt. You know what I'm saying? I slept wrong. Sometimes when you sleeping wrong, you waking up in the middle of the night and you can't go to sleep because you got stuff on your mind
Right.
from you stressing. Oh, I don't have enough money. Oh, I can't pay my rent. Oh, this. That's what it is, because then you be like, why am I having all these pains? You having these pains because you're worrying about things that's out of your control.
Yeah, they say the mind is very powerful. The mind is extremely powerful. You can will your way into being in a shit load of pain. You can will your way into a lot of things, and that is like self manifestation, manifest destiny, so to speak. Um, but
So if you don't harmonize yourself, if you don't get in a quiet place and think about these things to another degree, it could cause a great corruption
right,
within the body. You might end up with cancer. You might end up with diabetes. It don't necessarily nowadays have to be food. It could be stress.
that's true. That's true. Now
It's
with the harmonizing, that's what it's called. Harmonizing is it like aroma harmony or aroma?
it's like she makes natural blends. It's like
No, I mean
steps,
like what would you call it? Like what would you call that? Like aromatherapy? Because I've heard of aromatherapy.
Um, I wouldn't call it aromatherapy. I would call it like uh sacred oils.
Okay. Okay.
Like when they do communion or something, but
Hmm.
this is not the same thing.
Right.
And how they bless but it's basically a sacred. It's a sacred ritual
Right.
between you and yourself and what you want to accomplish for yourself to keep you from being stressed.
Hmm.
Um, she's been teaching us that most of us are controlling, when it comes down to business, dealing with people, and so forth, or stressing about, all those things that I was naming earlier. And so, excuse me, she was saying that we need to stop worrying about things that's out of our control and start letting other people, let things come to us. Let the energy come to us. Stop trying to find people to validate what you need to get done and do it for yourself.
Right.
Sometimes we be saying we got it. I got this. I'm gonna do this. I'm manifesting this, and then it doesn't happen. You say stuff beforehand that's negative right before it's getting ready to happen, and that's what happens because
Right.
you kept saying it. And then you knew a certain person that was a part of that situation. You decided you knew you shouldn't have been doing this with them. You knew it before that, and you did it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we premeditate our ending with
Right.
situation.
Right. That's something that I know I've been working on myself is being very clear and cognitive of the things that come out of my mouth. And one of those things is really to that I've been working on is to not speak negativity into existence, even a fiber of doubt or uh, any negative connotation on anything that I'm talking about, either be another human being or a situation or anything that's up and coming that I know that's coming within my life. I don't say things like, well, I hope, or, you know what I mean? Well, we'll see if this person's going to act right or whatever. I've really been working on just manifesting those things. You know what I mean? Like, because that puts me in a better space when, like, if it is another person, it puts me in a better space when I greet them, when I see them, especially if it's a person that maybe in the past I haven't had the greatest dealings with. I don't put any shred of any ill thought. Just I tell myself it's going to be great, and when I see them, shake their hand, be cordial. Or I'm just speaking on like in a hypothetical situation if it's a person that I don't
I get it.
particularly care
Yeah,
about. But I said that just to give a little clarity. But shout out to Mimi Gates in the chats and everybody else that's in the chats. Bearded Conversation or Mimi Gates also. Mimi and Ace Vito. The link is in the chats if you want to join this conversation. The conversation we're having is about healing and the different well shit everything about healing because there's it's a multifaceted road to healing and to talk about could you talk about that like what got you uh Akila on your road to healing or wanting to heal or
well, in May 2014, I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure, and so that changed my life.
right
Beforehand, I was having a lot of problems with asthma symptoms, and like out of nowhere, I would wake up and be gasping for air, and just a lot of stuff like weird, like attacks, like I couldn't control going to the bathroom, things that just was not normal. And I kept going to different hospitals, doctors, and they were saying, "Oh, it's your asthma." And finally, one day, I just couldn't use the bathroom, but a drop for each one or two, and it was terrible. And so it got to the point where I was trying to do somebody hair. I'll never forget. I was at my cousin's house, and I just healed over. And she called my mom, and by that evening, I was in the hospital. And
oh wow
and the next morning, found out I had fluid all over my body.
Wow.
because they gave me the pneumonia medicine, and if they had to check me then, probably wouldn't have been in the situation that I was in.
Hmm.
And that just goes to show you how when they use you being asthmatic or having that background, that's the first thing they go to. They don't want to, the doctors are real lazy.
Right. S-
So that really changed my life, and I got into public speaking and researching about, congestive heart failure. And I got out here and I started advocating about it, and that's what happened. Because at first I was just doing my fashion show. I had just got received the first time. I had got like 12 bottles of Armadale vodka, if you all remember, with Jay
mm-hmm.
Z and one of my classmates from high school. Shout out to Lawrence Willis that makes Albaray, if you all ever heard of that. And he connected me with them, and I got bottles. But then somebody went in my shipment and took the bottles, so they sent me 12 more bottles. And so I did a show for my high school to raise money. I didn't do well with the money, but people showed up and stuff, and we had a good time. But to make a long story short, after that, that's when my health started going down the drain.
Hmm.
So yeah, I basically built myself back up. It was hard because I spent 8 days in the hospital, had to stop living in my apartment, was trying to work a job. It was like $30 an hour. I couldn't do that. And then so just a lot of stuff. It was hard, a lot of reflection,
Right.
a lot of time to think about stuff and some things that I got into before I got sick that I shouldn't have done. And I just felt like I was being punished because of what I did, and I owned up to it and just decided to fight for what was going through my body.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took cardiovascular therapy. I did 46 weeks of that.
Wow.
And I was the youngest person in the place. So I was kind of embarrassed about it because everybody else was old enough to be my auntie, my eldest auntie, or my grandma. But after a while, a lot of those people looked up to me because I was talented and was taking on my illness and was doing all these exercises and stuff that they couldn't do. They would switch me off to different machines, and they was like, "Man, I wish I could do that." So it was inspiration. But then I, stopped doing that, and then I just really started doing a lot of fashion shows and getting shirts made and doing collaborations. Did collaborations with my business partner, Shantae Kennedy in Seattle, Washington. He makes Sneaker Wars apparel. Shout
mm-hmm.
out to him. And then I did a collaboration with this lady in Truth scarves. They made like out of t-shirts. So I had got shirt scarves. It was red and white and red and black and different colors representing that. And then I made a foundation called Have a Heart, Give a Heart. So that's where I got started in the, heart disease part and giving back and discussing health and wellness. And then I started writing cookbooks and giving recipes and showing people what to do because I had to completely change my diet and I had to do learn how to walk again because I was completely weak because the fluid was everywhere and I couldn't wear a bra. It took me like a whole month or two to wear a bra. So it was just pretty rough. And then my heart rate was low, so I started walking blocks, 1 block a week or something like that. So I went through a lot. So that's what I said really got me strong I think this illness made me stronger than ever. And
Right.
it was a curse, but it was also a blessing.
Right. What was the turning point like in your in okay, I like understanding the physical part. What was the turning point for you when you in your healing physically that you said to yourself, man, I need to heal myself mentally as well or spiritually as well.
Because it keeps you sick. See, when they tell you that you have something, it's in your head.
Mhm.
Some people, if you would have hear some of those older folks, I used to tell them about stuff that they could do. Oh, girl, I like my rib tips, and it was like, man. And a dietitian said, well, you got to eat certain cuts of pork. But a lot of them, they don't want to hear that. And see, I completely didn't do that at all. I just dealt with whatever. My weakness was a certain like street food because I used to go out at night
Right.
and I used to drink. You know what I'm saying? So it really based off what happened was I had problems with my teeth. And before that, they didn't want to give me insurance. So that's the key to this. And another situation, another reason why people have mental health problems because of insurance situations.
Mhm.
So I didn't get insurance until I got almost in the hospital, basically. Did the paperwork and they called me and they said, Miss Brown, why didn't you complete your paperwork? I said, because I'm in the hospital. I found I had congestive heart failure, and I was telling you all that time, all those years, that my teeth was not good, and now it's went into heart failure. And she was like, "Oh, we're gonna send the paper. Send everything right through it. Blah 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 blah." I was like, "What the? What the fuck? Like what the? Are you fucking serious?"
Right.
That's how I felt. So for 5 years, you've been jerking me around just because I didn't have an illness. I wasn't in a hospital bed, so you couldn't give me no insurance.
Hmm. The
That-
when what was that turning point of you saying I need to heal myself on the
Right
mental
when I
side?
got out the hospital and I
Mm,
couldn't do my own hair,
really?
and I'm a loctician, part time. That was my job. I didn't have the regular job. That's my one of my skills. So I
Mhm.
couldn't do anybody's locks or any natural hairstyles. And when I tried to go and wash my hair, and I couldn't, and I called my mom and I was crying. That was the turning point for me.
Right. What is I know like within myself like I've talked about it before on the show where I had like a complete like mental meltdown. It was like happened right after I stopped drinking. It was like everything that I had ever been through, anything traumatic, any type of abuse, anything, violence, everything, all was like the alcohol kept a lid on it, you know. And when I quit drinking, and about a week or so after I quit drinking, like it started with just a tiny thought, and then everything just spiraled completely out of control. Like my thoughts were fucked up. Everything was fucked up. I couldn't concentrate. Like literally from the morning, and by the time the evening hit, I
Your
was like
conscience was messing with you.
my shit, but my conscience and every other goddamn thing. Um,
Yeah,
I I was legitimately suicidal by the end of the night, and I could not shake the thought of just doing myself in, and no matter what I did. no matter how I thought about things, that thought was so damn strong. It terrified the shit out of me. And I ended up calling a crisis hotline, and then some friends, and I made it through that. And that's like when I really realized that I need to, because it was affecting my health, it was affecting everything, all of these things, the alcohol, and I don't eat that great now, but I eat a lot better than I used to. But it was all of those things, and having to be confronted, with all of this stuff, and then figuring out what to do with it, because it sometimes it would be just one thing would pop into my head, and then I couldn't shake that thought. Sometimes it'd be more than one thing, you know what I mean, keeping me up at night. Before I quit drinking, I think I probably slept about 3 or 4 hours a night for years, and if the only time I would really, really be able to sleep hard is if I was completely blacked out drunk, and I'd have to pass out, you know. And it got really, really, really bad. And quitting, like I say now, that quitting drinking was not difficult whatsoever. Like I poured the last time I drank was 2 years ago, and I poured that fucking drink out, and I never looked back. The issue for me was everything else, because now I'm of clear mind as far as in the moment, and just the realization of every damn thing in front of me, all of the shit that I've done that caused a lot of people heartache and pain and suffering, even suffering within myself, and thinking, "Holy shit, I've got to do something about this. I really got to do something about this, because if I can't, I don't think I'm going to survive this at all." Because
Mhm.
the mind is a very, very, very fucking powerful, powerful tool, or not tool, but muscle, or whatever. And I don't have perfect days. I wake up some days and it's horrible, but I, through like manifest destiny, manifesting things, I mean, and telling myself, well, I'm blessed, I'm alive, I'm breathing, and when I put my foot down on the floor, when I get up, I just tell myself that today is going to be better than yesterday. I'm going to do everything within my power to make today better than yesterday. Does it always work out? For the most part, yeah. But it's the work. You know what I mean? It's the work of putting into to making my day better, making me better, and because of that, I'm better with people, and then it helped me to understand a lot of things that I go through and that I had been going through for many, many, many years. You know what I mean? And I'm still on that road to like mental recovery, because like I had finding myself, my brain was wired to be a certain way throughout all these years, and having to unplug things and replug them back, so to speak, in the right places, you know. And that takes a lot of work, and it's very daunting, and it could be very difficult for people. But there is help. There's help in therapy, counseling. There's help in, uh, as you were speaking of, the aroma, the what did you call it? Harmony,
Harmonizing.
harmonizing. There's help in that. I said harmonies. I apologize.
That's okay.
Uh,
It's harmonize. It's called harmonization, but with the oil, you're harmonizing yourself.
right.
So
I'm
what
gonna
we
have to
do is
definitely
we
try that.
yeah. So and she makes it's a whole bunch of stuff. It's a
Right.
lot to it, but I'm still learning and I'm still practicing. I've been reading the literature. It's quite interesting. I just say that's what I say. Tell people, you know, it's just good to learn about new things, especially in our culture. We need to grab on because this is something that was out before, but they just have so many things out. Sometimes you have to find your place, and
Yeah. Finding your place is a good. I think that's a good word, because uh, we when a person is going through some healing, you really have to find your place within yourself. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
I hate to keep. I'm not trying to make this about me or anything, but I'm only talking about my journey and finding that place within myself. Like becoming aware of my emotional needs, my emotional desires, um, my spiritual needs, and my spiritual understanding of who I am. Because I can't give anything if I'm not really understanding me and my place in this universe, this world, this city, this room, anything. And I have come to learn about my energy and how I vibrate. I say all the time that energy is. A lot of people don't know, but the transference of energy is real, and
Mm.
people should
Yes.
understand that they are the protectors of their own energy, and they should protect their own energy at all costs, meaning the people you surround yourself with, the situations that you put yourself in. You must be a proprietor of your own energy. You know what I mean? Because when I feel bad energy from someone, well, I will give them enough of my energy to like hopefully put them in the right space of thinking at that moment or whatever. But I'm not going to go back and forth with anyone about anything, because that transference of negative energy within my space could make things go left. You know what I'm saying? And I have to protect my energy, because my energy is also, I think, connected to like my behavior. You know what I mean? My energy is connected to my attitude, my thought process, and everything else that comes along with me being me. And I have to protect that. And in order for me to be good with other people, it's important that I protect that energy, nurture it, and care for it. You know what I'm saying? Because without it,
Your peace of mind is the most precious thing than anything.
right?
It's the most precious thing, anything. You
Yeah.
know, peace of mind is a great thing.
Yeah, it's a great thing, but a lot of us don't know how to get peace of mind. A lot of people,
Yeah,
and a lot of us don't know how to give ourselves grace. I talk about that a lot on this show, is about giving yourself grace.
you're supposed to praise yourself, but and then you also the problem is you need to detach from some of these toxic environments.
Right.
We in Chicago, it's a lot of toxic energy.
Mm-hmm.
Amongst people that known each other forever, but they just I don't know, they're just over the top. It's just they just caught up in their ways. That's what I say. And it's nothing you can do about it but focus on yourself.
Right.
That's the problem. We're not focusing on ourselves. We're focusing on what these people around us we know is toxic, instead of just dealing with what we have eyes on the prize for ourselves.
Right.
And that's the issue. So
Part.
I you know that's what I've been discovering, that you got to work, you got to do your thing.
Yeah. Part of that
Stop
is
letting people be rent free in your head that don't give a damn about you.
right.
You know.
And part, like I said, I was going to say, part of that is understanding and that you're not in charge of somebody else's behavior. I'm not in charge of anybody's behavior. I'm not in charge of anybody's happiness. I can be held accountable for the things that I do that may contribute to their happiness, but I'm not in charge of their happiness. I'm not in charge
Hmm.
of their behaviors. I'm not in charge of anybody's thought process or anything except for mine. And I also have
Yeah.
to, that's part of my energy, and I have to be the proprietor of my energy and protect it at all costs, which is a difficult thing at times. And
Yeah. People can invade your privacy with their drama. Like you could be in a whole focused uh moment or something, or you could be somewhere trying to make a purchase. It might not be even somebody you know,
Mm-hmm.
and just you just happen to be there. And then something goes crazy. So it's just like you have to like be watching yourself now. It's like you gotta make sure everywhere you go you protecting your peace, because
Yeah.
it's just like total chaos. How everybody is just buck wild. And you don't know if it's gonna be an elder or if it's gonna be a tiny child
Right.
at this time. That's what we're
Mm-hmm.
dealing with. And
Yeah.
then, it's sometimes we be dealing with stuff from childhood that we didn't deal with before, or something in a personal relationship, or somebody passed that was dear to us that was a great inspiration for our creativity, which I know I had problems with that myself. And I
Mm-hmm.
had a real hard time before COVID. My aunt and my cousin passed, and a lot of people passed. So I know that that was a rough time for me. And I
Right.
know I had locks and everything. My hair came out. So I'm just saying it's all kind of, what I'm trying to say, it's all kind of trauma. It's all kinds of areas where you are hurting yourself and you don't
Mm-hmm.
realize it, because you let things consume your whole entire body.
Right. And Dinick, shout out to Dinick. I haven't seen him today, this evening in the chats at all. But one of the things he talks about is this pie, the checklist.
Yeah,
Checking on your mental, your physical, and your spiritual.
yes,
Daily, doing a check in, so to speak, of that daily. And
yeah,
I'm finding that to be very helpful in just in my everyday life, being sure of where I am spiritually, where I am emotionally, you know, and physically. And then taking care of those things is important as well, you know.
right. Yes, sir.
And that's
Well, I I would like to say that it seems like you got have a very calm energy tonight. Sounds like you working towards a goal for yourself.
yeah,
To
absolutely.
get, yeah.
I
And I have a suggestion. Uh, we learn this breathing apparatus, and you say this meditation or eurythmic. It's called Pona Pona, and so you say, and from Hawaii, and you say, "I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you,"
mhm.
and you can say that 3 times. Take one deep breath, and then hold it in and let it out. And then take another deep breath, same apparatus, hold it in, let it out. And then repeat the same thing again. And you could be in your shower, you could be in your room. It could be, something that you can look this up actually
could you
too.
could you
The-
um could you repeat those words for people that are watching right now? Could you repeat
Okay.
those words and
It's
how
a
to do that
Hawaiian,
once
it's a
again?
Hawaiian, it's a Hawaiian affirmation. It's called Pona Pona. And you say, "I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you."
Mm. And then
You
breathe.
speaking to yourself. You
Yeah.
talking to yourself about, yeah, because sometimes you be clinically depressed and you don't know it. And
Right.
that's why what you're trying to manifest is not going through because of that. Because you're blocking yourself.
Right.
Sometimes you're
That's
blocking
something
yourself.
Yeah, that's something that I've learned over the last couple of years as well. Like
Yeah,
I'm a
it,
very
it,
verbal person, so a lot of things that like I feel sometimes it's important that for me that I say them out loud, especially in that moment, that I hear them with my own ears out of my own mouth. You know, I had like a couple of times where I was feeling like a piece of shit. You know, for lack of better words, I was feeling like, I ain't shit, man. You know, like, fuck is wrong with me? And once I realized
yeah,
once
I've been
yeah,
that way.
yeah, and once I realized I was saying that to, out loud or thinking it, I'm sorry, when I realized that's what I was thinking, I immediately said to myself out loud, I'm a good person and I know I'm a good person. And I said that
Mhm.
like 3 or 4 times out loud, and that helped ease what was going on in my brain, me hearing it, to me saying it to myself, and I remember there was somebody there and they were like, what did you say? I said, nothing, man. It's just something that I do. I it's after have the thought over and over and over again, me at times, for me, not speaking for anybody else, but for me to say it out loud, that me hearing my voice say what I feel about me helps me get through those things. Sometimes when I have
Right.
those issues.
Well,
Yeah.
I know this one. I know this particular affirmation stuck to me. Besides the one I did when I first got out the hospital, the one I had.
Uh-oh, you froze. We'll give her a second. Hopefully it'll kick back in. Well, in the meantime, whenever she almost was there. Almost. Damn near. Still frozen.
Huh?
Oh, you were frozen the whole time.
Oh, I was saying when I had a point in time when I got out the hospital, I had another affirmation, and I will and I can.
Mm,
And that was something that stuck with me. It got me to this point, and I've been using that for campaigns and stuff. It's really inspirational to me, and that's how I know that it works because it gives you strength when you hear that type of stuff. When you go through an illness, when you go through every day, where ups and downs and stuff, when you hear that type of positive affirmation and you ringing in your ear, it helps you to get through the day because it's sometimes where like you say, you just don't feel like that. But
right.
just saying that and just looking at yourself and knowing you woke up and you were able to get yourself together, put some clothes on your back, you got a roof over your head, you're feeding yourself. Some people don't have that, and so I have to look at those things too. I'll
Right.
be sitting over here moping, and there's people out here that wish they could have what I have, and they don't have it.
Right.
So it's like a lot of stuff we need to, work out with ourselves because we don't be, doing that because we just so focused on what we don't have because of what it's a quote unquote supposed to be, but it's up to you what you want to
Mm-hmm.
be for yourself. And that's the
Right.
problem. So maybe a lot of, like I said, it's a lot of self-doubt, a lot of self-doubt. And you could be the most militant, you could be the most prominent person, you could be the most on time, all that, take care of your business person, but you could still have doubt. It could be something from childhood, like I said, it could be a lot of stuff, things, people letting you down, and you were counting on that. So a lot of people don't realize that's damage to a person's psyche, whether they're young, old, it doesn't matter because they're counting on you.
Right.
And so it's a lot of, it's so many mixtures. And then I would say how it affects the diet. You start overeating, you start buying food. at late at night, start doing stuff, eating things that you know you're not supposed to be having, and then you still having these problems, and then things start accumulating.
Right.
And before you know it, they tell you, "Oh, you got diabetes." Well, how did I get diabetes? I don't even eat sugar because they're not telling you some of those products got some sugar in it, and it's saying something else, or it got
Right.
salt, or it got this. So it's crazy out here. You have to check. Like I said, this check-in show is perfect. This is where you
Thank
need
you.
to come and tell, because I'm telling you, I had to learn. When I first got out the hospital, I thought I could eat like that, and I had to check myself because it showed me, oh, you're gonna be sick if you do
Right.
this. If you try to do that,
If you had to
you
tell
can't.
somebody, like for anyone that's listening right now or comes across this, um, and they had no idea that they needed healing, what would you tell them?
Well, first of all, you gotta listen to a person first to see if that's what they need before I be, giving information. But I would just give him an example of, a little bit about myself, and try to give him an understanding of where I'm coming from, and
Right.
see if that will help. I would take baby steps, because some people don't get it,
Right.
and it's hard to discuss certain the subjects with people who are they just don't want to get it. It's hard with that. So it takes a little bit of more information for certain people in order for them to be comfortable and say, well, I do need healing.
Right. Well, I want to thank you for being on the show. We're going to come to the end of this, and when we end the show, I like to ask my guests uh, to give me or give the audience their last thoughts on everything that we spoke on tonight.
Sure.
Go ahead. The
No
floor is
problem.
yours.
Well, I really enjoyed the show. This is my first time on here. I think you have an excellent background. I think it's wonderful that you're working on yourself. And I am glad I'm working on myself as well. And just because I am knowledgeable doesn't mean that I am exempt from working on me, because
Mm,
I still have a long process to go. And I just gonna keep on keeping on. And I just want to say that I think that more people need to chime in here and come and check you out, because it's a lot of people clinically hiding from subjects like what we're talking about. And some of them, they really need this guidance. They need this structure. They need this love, because there's
mm.
a lot of love on this show.
Thank you. That means a lot. That really means a lot.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I'm going to leave you with my thoughts. I'm going to leave everybody with my thoughts for the show tonight. And again, I want to thank you, Akila, for coming on the show tonight and
Oh
giving us.
yeah. When it get done, I want to tell them about my event.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll get to that.
Oh
We'll get
yeah.
to that after the. We'll get to that after the last words. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Um, I want to thank you for being on the show, but also too,
Thank you.
you said something that I thought was really important. And I want everybody to listen to this. Baby steps. Baby steps. Not, Rome was not built overnight. But the most important step is the first step. Acknowledging that first step. Taking that first step on the road to healing yourself, on the road to any type of wellness, is taking that first step. And it's a difficult step. Sometimes in life, we need a crutch, we need somebody to lean on, but it's important to take that first step. And then once you're able to take that first baby step, the next step won't be so hard. Not all the steps will be perfect, not all of them will be uphill, Some will be downhill. Some steps are easier than others. But you have to prepare yourselves for the steps. And you have to take those steps. And you have to take the initiative to make those changes and take those steps. And when you do, you'll find that you don't want to take any steps backwards. That's the one thing that I've learned throughout this couple of years of my journey is that I absolutely refuse to be that person anymore, any longer. I'm much more happy with myself and the people that I surround myself with. And the key to that is taking them baby steps. Them baby steps is so important. You have to crawl before you walk. And I'm walking, but I have a long road ahead of me. And as my sister says all the time, I'm a construction site, the never-ending construction site. This is something that is going to be for the rest of my life. This is something that anyone who gets on a path to being well emotionally, physically, mentally, it's a journey. Prepare yourself for the journey because at the end of it, it's going to be beautiful. At the middle of it, it'll be beautiful. When you take that first baby step, it will be beautiful. And with that being said, Akila, please tell everybody where they can find you, any of the products or anything like that that you have. And yeah, we'll go from
Okay,
there.
well, you can find me on Facebook as Akila Josephine Brown, and you also can find me at Cream and Crow LLC Social Club. And I have currently an event coming up on January 25th, 2025 at Painter City on the north side of Chicago. And it's from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. You can buy tickets on eventhigh.com. And the highest on the tickets are 20 and the lowest are 15. It's going to be an enjoyable time. Our instructor is Red Locks. Our DJ for the night is DJ Nice It Up. Our sound healer is Hazel Sapphire. And we're going to have good food, folks, and fun. And it's 420 friendly. And I'm looking forward to anybody that's interested. And my email address, if you want to know any more things, is brownakila64 at gmail.com. Everybody have a good night. I really enjoyed the show.
Thank you so much once again. Everybody, remember, give yourself some grace, take some time for yourself, and breathe. Just breathe. It's going to be all right. Peace. Till next Sunday.
Indeed.